clarification question regarding 1031 exchanges.
Sure.
So you mentioned that initially you bought 20 years ago for 107 and then sold it for 264. So I'm sure that we have viewers that are thinking right now, what about taxes? What about all the taxes that you paid on that gain? And not a lot of people know about 1031 exchanges, especially if they're just thinking of investment. That tax question can scare them. So can you briefly explain what 1031 exchange for our viewers?
Yeah. So again, I'm not an accountant, not a lawyer, all of that stuff. So, take this for one guy's example. So go look it up, talk to your accountants. But basically, a 1031 exchange is something that is in the tax code that allows you to exchange like for like. So if I sold a rental house, I can exchange that equity into another investment entity. So for us, it was house for 5 units, house for 13, house for 18. That's how we go from 8 to 80. And there's two keys. One is there's a timing element, meaning, first off, actually, step one is I can never touch the money, right? The money has to sit in an intermediary, it's like an escrow account. I can't touch it. If I touch it, it's taxed. But you can take all the profit, stays in the intermediary. I then have, I think it's 45 days to identify properties and then 6 months to close. Again, look them up for examples. It's not as hard. The hardest part of that is finding the next property. That's the hardest part because you are time bound and those time limits are strict. But yeah, we essentially bought 8 houses. If I were to add them up quickly in my head, probably total purchase price was around 1.2 million. If you add them all up, and we exchanged into 5.5, 6 million worth of properties. And obviously we had a bunch of equity because again, what I gave you was purchase price, not sale price.
Right.
But yeah, again, 1031 exchange is powerful. If you can buy low, sell high, it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, investors say defer till you die.
Exactly. Yes, I legally not pay the IRS. It's very, very, very legal, and they encourage it because you have to go bigger. It's not only like kind, but you got to go bigger. Right? The IRS wants you to get more, bigger. So that's what we did.
Right. And, there's a lot of confusion about like kind property, right? And just for clarification, it doesn't mean single family home to single family home. It can be it's based on a type that it can be rental property, investment property that you can turn into another like kind, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same housing type. And once again, it's not tax advice, but this is just our opinions on how this works.
Yeah, I've done it. So at least in 2006, it didn't have to be house for house. On my taxes, it was an investment property, and I had to go from an investment property to an investment property. It didn't say it had to be the same square footage or any of that nonsense. Like for like.
Okay.